Can you guys
Yeah.
see my screen? Okay. So today we're gonna be talking about. I did this presentation with Safe and Sound back in the summertime, like about a year ago, almost a year ago. We talked about they had a session that was going on. We were talking to the young people about how to start a business. They talk about vision boards, they talk about all that, and I covered the banking part of for the small business. So we called it banking like a boss. And we wanted to talk about the difference between traditional banking and business banking, building a financial plan, deciding what type of business type you want, because there's different types of business, self-employed businesses. A big thing now was everybody's looking at, how can I make additional funds? How can I make it a side hustle? Because if you just look at working your job ain't built for you to gain wealth out of it. You're making wealth for the company, actually. It's not, that's why they want it's that you work there to work for 40 years, then you retire and live off whatever they give you. So when you start your own business, whether it's a side gig or that's what you're going to do, it's about helping you build that wealth and having sustainable income outside of whatever a company wants to get you. And you're your own boss. And it's actually been rising as far as popularity and everything, as far as everybody getting businesses. You talk about how you establish business credit, creating business accounts, how do you file your taxes, and then I always want to talk about building a relationship with your banker. I talked about that before. Whether you bank at a credit union or you go to a bank, you want to build that relationship with them so they can always help you. That was one thing that hurt businesses during COVID. During the start of COVID, when everybody looking to get the PPP money, you had to go through your bank to get that. But the sad part was no banks were open. You only had to go through the drive-through to take care of your business. So if you didn't understand anything with your paperwork, you have to drive through the drive-through. It's not the same as being able to sit down and talk to somebody face to face and get everything done. And then if you hadn't established a relationship with a banker, a lot of times the people they have relationships with, they will contact them and help them and help them get that. But in our community, we really don't have those relationships. So it put us at a disadvantage when it came to the PPP money that was out there. And you've seen people getting it through fraudulent means, and you see the government is catching them now. And I know a lot of self-employed people that were upset and frustrated because you've seen people that were getting this stuff through fraudulent means, and they were doing things the honest way, and they were having hangups. So I'm just trying to share information. So in case anything ever happens, I'm not saying another pandemic, but in case something happens, you be prepared for it. And then talking about joining development organizations that will help you as far as establishing your business, your financial plan, even sometimes with getting additional funding and grants. So you're going to talk about the difference between personal and business banking. With personal banking, you're going to need your identification requirements. That's your ID, whether that's a state ID or your driver's license or passport. You're going to need that as well. Sometimes you need a second form of ID, whether that's a debit card or something else to show your ID. And then your personal income and expenses. That's what your personal banking is for, just for your personal income and expenses. But with business banking, when you want to look at a business banking account, they're going to require different business documents depending on what type of business you have, whether that's your articles of incorporation. They're going to need your tax ID number. Who are the signers in your business banking account? Because whoever's a signer on your business banking account, they have access to, either taking out funds or depositing funds and getting bank information. Then you also, the big thing is the monthly maintenance fees and service charges. Some business accounts, you have to have a minimum balance in there to avoid a service charge. Or there may be some accounts where, depending on how much cash you're depositing into that account, it's going to change how much fees are in there. But the main thing about that business banking account is that's where you want to put your business income and expenses. Because when it comes down to tax time, or let's say you're trying to get some kind of funding, you can just go right to your business account and have all that there instead of going to your personal account and have to separate it all. And that can, with having your business account mixed in with your personal account, it can leave you susceptible to some things. And, in case the IRS ever audited you, things like that, it can put you in potential danger. So you have the sole proprietorship versus a partnership or LLC. I started, this is talking about the differences of them, but a sole proprietorship is where this is my business. Let's say I have a lawn care system. I do lawn care, or I do landscaping. I'm the one that owns a business, But with that sole proprietorship, I'm also there's no liability protection, so I'm 100% liable for everything. With a corporation or an LLC, there's limited of liability based on how much you have invested into it. But with the sole proprietorship, there's less startup costs. You can also use your same ID, your social security number as your ID, or you can get your own tax ID number for it. And your tax is a self-employed person. And with this sole proprietorship, you can legally mix your business and personal funds. So if you just want to have this one account, you can do that. It didn't make it harder when it's time for accounting purposes later on at that time to separate the expenses and things that's in there. But it's tougher to build business credit when you're a sole proprietorship. And I know everybody's been hearing about LLCs. I know Ernie, if you listen to Ernie Leisure podcast, talk about starting an LLC, or a lot of the podcasts out there now, or things you can go on Instagram and talk about a lot starting an LLC. Because with that, you have a separate tax ID number. There are filing fees for it, for the state, and then you have to do annual reporting. But your liability is limited to that. If you're sued, they don't go after your personal assets as they would with a sole proprietorship. If I'm get sued, let's say I cut hair and I say I'm a sole proprietor. If they wanted to sue me for something that happened to them, they can go after my personal assets as well. But with a partnership or LLC, it's generally limited to the assets that's available in that company. Also with that, you can have employees with there. You see, like some people say they start LLCs and they hire their children and they pay them a certain amount, which really is an allowance, and they can write off in the taxes. But with that sole proprietorship, LLC is something that you can use to write off. You can use for tax write-offs. Let's say you're a personal trainer. You can put your gym membership and things like that as a part of your expenses as far as business-wise. There, some examples of a sole proprietorship might be a Uber driver, things like that. Now, the business credit is the ability of a business to qualify for financing. It's separate from your personal credit. So you establish that business credit off your tax ID number you have for your business, that EIN number. And you can establish that the three different credit bureaus for a business credit are Dun and Bradstreet, Experian, and Equifax. It's used by your lenders, your creditors, and suppliers to evaluate if you are available for credit or insurance application business deals. Ways that you can establish business credit is, let's say, like you own a convenience store, things like that. Instead of you can have the money coming out of your business account and you pay it through the business. That's ways to establish a business credit, or you can get like a small loan for the business in some cases, or you can get a business credit card. A lot of times with the business credit card, they're gonna look at your personal credit to get you established for that business credit card. And this is ways, again, of how to establish it. You put your business on the map. You open up that business banking account and use it to pay bills. And then you also open up a business credit file. And then you establish and maintain good relationships with the suppliers and vendors. Just like paying your bills, you will with your personal credit, you want to do the same thing with your business credit. You get yourself a employee identification number. You get a business credit card. You do these things to establish business credit. And then you can start getting things in your business name instead of your personal name. Let's say you want to buy a car, but it's mainly for business purposes. Instead of you having that under your personal credit, that could be under your business credit instead. So let's say like, so you won't have to be personally liable for that credit. You could use that to rent the car out. People are using Toro now to rent their car out. If you're doing business credit, that's ways you can also do that. So again, this presentation isn't that long, so we don't have a lot of time to talk about it or whatever. So, but some of the tips, again, I always say when you're looking to establish a business account is before you choose a bank or a credit union you want to work with, you want to shop around. You want to make sure that you don't want to go into the first place you see and just open and get your business account there. You want to see what rates are out there. What are they charging for service charges? How are they treating you? Is there a minimum balance you have to have in the account? Do they work with you? Do they help you establish your business credit? Do they help you, get your business going further? If it's just they go someone open your account up and charge you fees and things like that, that's not somebody you want to deal with. You want to definitely make sure they treat you as a person, not as a number. We've seen that with a lot of businesses, even personal accounts, where depending on how much money you have in the bank or how much you deposit, you're treated a different way. And you don't want to deal with anybody that's gonna treat you like that. That means they're only after you for one thing. Whether you have a lot of money or no money, you want somebody to treat you no matter what. And you want to make sure your personal credit is solid as well, because you're going to need that to establish your business credit. And establish that relationship with your banker, whether that's for your personal account or your business account. So that way, when something happens, they can work with you. Let's say there's a new product out, and they think it may be beneficial to you. They can give you a call. Or if there's some issues going on, they heard about some new grants out there that may be available. They can give you a call and tell you about that, or you can discuss it with them. But you want to have that relationship with your banker, in case something happens. They know who you are, and they can build those relationships. When I was a personal banker, I was one of the bankers. I always want to do was establish relationships with the businesses that I took care of, that I looked out for, and with the customers I dealt with, because with that relationship, you find out things about them that may help them down the line. Let's say your credit isn't where it's supposed to be today, but they can help you get started in building your credit up and get you to where you want to be, whether that's a credit builder loan, or sitting down talking with you about your credit and give you pointers, referring you to other agencies that may be able to help you as far as building your credit, or if you want to get some grant money. Those relationships come a long way, because I believe even in your personal life, it's important how you treat people. It's very important how you treat people. People think you can just talk any way you want. They say, I say whatever's on my mind, whatever's on my head. That's not always the best way to do things. When I worked in the call center in collection, you can cuss me out all day long. Guess what? I'm not going to help you any chance I get. If I have a chance to repossess you or whatever I need to get, I'm going to do that. But if you talk to me, respect, and do these kind of things, I'm going to make sure I do other things for you. I might help you out in ways that I don't have to, but I can make ways to do that. It's very important how we talk to one another, how you treat people, especially if you own your business, because you want people to come back. And it's sad, especially with Black-owned businesses, how we do one another. If one Black business doesn't treat you right, we say, I'm not dealing with nobody Black, because that's how you treat you. And it shouldn't be that way. We should judge them based on who they are as a person. And, I see that a lot. Like if one guy doesn't do your lights right, we don't want to go to somebody else. But no, you have to give people a chance and treat people fairly. That's my whole presentation, really. It was pretty much, it's a straightforward presentation, because I think I only had like 30 minutes before this when I did the presentation. But does anybody have any questions or comments they want to ask? I don't want to I like doing all the talking anyway. So does anybody have any questions or comments they want to bring up?
No, I don't. Is it like, are people opening businesses now? Like, I know people are faking it, like with the whole PP, the loan thing, but I'm talking about like in a genuine way. Like, are people who are trying to like if I thought about opening up a daycare, like, is there money out here like right now to do something like that, in the support out here?
WIBIC is helping people that's looking to start businesses or establish businesses. They're out there to help you start business. And I know like for people that live in housing authority, they also have a program out there where you do like a 6-month, I think, training session with them. And then they give you matching funds, whether that's to start your business or to pay off some old debts and things like that. But there are people still starting businesses. Like I know people that sell t-shirts and stuff like that. It's even good to have a business account for that. That's for tax purposes. Let's say you want to, all that money you spend it on material and all that, you write that off for your taxes, for your expenses, even for your business use of your home, your phone, all that. You can use it part of that as tax write-offs. Everybody got mad at Donald Trump when he said, I don't pay taxes. I'm not stupid. But the thing is, when you own a business, it's a way to help you write off taxes. It's a way to help you write off a lot of stuff. You work from your home. You could be a percentage of what you're paying at your home to write off of your taxes. If you use your cell phone, you can write that off of your taxes. So it's a lot of things that will help you as far as being beneficial towards you in that aspect. But the thing is, along with that, if you're looking to get funding, let's say you want to look to get a business loan, you want to show income. So it depends on what your goals are. If you're looking to save on your taxes, or if you're looking to get funding for your business, you're gonna want to show income in there. So your taxes need to show you're making money instead of losing money. But it's a way of a lot of us, we can be saving a lot of money on taxes, even getting more money back on taxes by us having that business established. But there are a lot of people starting business now. It's a lot more now than it was before. And all those people that was doing the fraudulent things as far as that, getting that business. You know, the biggest gang in the country is the IRS. And nobody was the biggest gang in the country is the IRS. And so you see more and more people getting prosecuted for those things now for doing that. So if you didn't take that easy way out, I applaud you. Because they know what says in Psalms 37, the wicked won't prosper. It tells you fret not because of evildoers, because you know their end is gonna come. So you have to be very careful in doing those things because again, their end does come.
Thank you. Does anybody else have any questions?
Yes, I do. Alice Teen Ansley.
Hi, how you doing?
Hi. I have two questions, as a matter of fact. The first one is, do you need an EIN number as a sole proprietor?
You don't need an EIN number as a sole proprietor. You can have it under your you can use your same social if you needed to.
Okay.
If you're doing a sole proprietor.
All right. And the second one is, are there many startup loans or grants available nowadays?
It depends. Because you have more grants that's available based on like whether you're based on race or gender, things like that. There's the grant money out there. But as far as startup grants, I don't know how many there are now. I could do some research on that for you to find out. But there's most of the grants that was out there was for COVID relief. As far as that businesses already were established. So a lot of startup businesses were, you know, they weren't able to get the help back if they started up in 2020. They weren't able to get that help because they weren't established already. So there may be some grants out there, but I think most of them are towards COVID relief.
Mr. Washington, I just want to say thank you. I know for me, your 3 series was awesome because it's literally what I've been working on. And so yeah, I appreciate the information that you gave. It was all very useful, right on. I've done some of the things and utilized some of the tools that you gave to us, the other 2 series. So I appreciate that. And I know we spoke about the bank on. Is bank on? So we'll definitely do that later on this year, hopefully. So yeah, I'm excited about that. So I just want to say thank you for that. Yeah, and if you ladies don't have anything else.
No, I do have a question. Are you guys going to be doing anything else on financial literacy in the future or anything?
Listen, we don't have anything on the calendar, but if that's something you're interested in, we can definitely pull it together.
Yes, I am interested.
You need, okay. All right. Well,
and I'm free. Just let me know what you need. And
yes.
Hopefully soon we can do it in person.
Right. Like as soon as we do, HeatLove, we love to do little get-togethers about different things, important things, and all of our events. I'm not gonna lie, I like to have fun, so they're always popping. So we start to get together. The first couple events, we're really gonna get together and have a good time. So I cannot wait. And financial literacy definitely will be on the agenda. And hopefully, Mr. Washington, you can help us with that.
I'm here to help.